All right, welcome back to the JELI Cards podcast, where John and I are spreading the love of the hobby. This is episode 81. You can listen to all our episodes on both Spotify and Apple Podcasts, including YouTube now. And if you are enjoying these topics, please give us a rating and a follow on both Spotify and Apple. Please give us a rating so John stops stressing out.
Yeah, please. Begging you.
John, you have been in a, you know what? How you've been in the chat recently? It's like John of old, man.
It's not good.
It's been great. No, it's been great. John has fallen down the rabbit hole of Bowman Draft again,
Really bad.
and it's like you have your own conversation with yourself in the chat. You start sending, hey, we should buy into this team. Hey, what about this prospect? Hey, and you're just going, but no one's answering.
Correct.
Nobody's answering it yet because we can't keep up with the amount of players and teams that you want to buy into.
Yeah, man. Like
this
I said,
this is John of old, and I like it.
Yeah, I just started looking through the checklist, started looking at everybody who has autos, and then I was going to the team prices, and then I just started watching so many players, and I was sending them to you guys like, hey, let's get this guy, let's get this guy, let's get this guy.
And
please ignore everything I've said. I was scrolling on eBay for like maybe 3 hours one morning. And I was like, okay, I need to calm the hell down. I got to take a break.
I love the like 6 text messages in a row, and then the 7th one is ignore everything I just said.
Yeah. Because I know that it's like I've gone way off the deep end.
Honestly, I think from when I was we're gonna talk baseball. Of course, last episode we finished off on, briefly talking about 2024 Bowman Draft. This episode we are going to somewhat heavily dive into it, give you some of our, not just some of the like top picks in the set, but some of the kind of sleeper investments, as you may say, that you could end up pulling from this set. Or if you just want to buy into player. If you want to join breaks, teams, whatever it is you want to do, we're going to break it down just a little bit. I do want to start off just talking a little baseball, though, because, of course, the biggest player in free agency, Juan Soto. I told you he was going to stay in New York, but all depended on who was going to give him the most money. I am personally shocked that he got $765 million. Like, I'm shocked. Like, it was when they were talking about it with Ohtani, obviously, of course, I thought that was too much money for Shohei Ohtani. But we're talking Juan Soto now, and he got $765 million, and what was it, 15 years, right?
Yeah.
So a 15-year contract, $765 million. This is bad for baseball, in my opinion. Like, I think these contracts are bad because I'm actually surprised he didn't defer money. I thought that was going to be the new thing now. Hey, just defer money. So, you don't have to pay me all that money now.
Exactly.
But you could just do it later so you can still, because I don't know how obviously the Mets, I think, are the richest team in baseball, potentially.
Probably.
Or the richest owner or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. But weren't they already in, like, financial, like, issues? Weren't they already having financial, like, yeah. Like, I thought they were already getting fined and stuff because they were, like, spending too much money.
Probably, yeah.
So I don't know how they did it, but let me get your thoughts on Juan Soto's $765 million contract.
Oh, boy. So you already know where I stand on my general thought in the MLB. I am sick of the league. I think the league's gone to crap. I think Manfred might be on my list of people that I really, really hate, along with Matt Nagy. They're tied for first place. So, I mean, is anybody in any sport worth that much money?
No.
In my opinion, no. But that's just the way that things are now. Player contracts are getting insanely expensive. Soon enough, we'll hit the billion mark. I don't know who it's going to be or when it's going to happen, but somebody's going to get $1 billion in some sort of sports contract in the U.S. So I am all for players getting paid. Players deserve to make as much money as possible because it's not some sort of breeze to be a professional baseball player, a professional athlete at any level. And you are the one who is making this team relevant. You're the one who's making this team important.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, get as much money as possible. But I'm going to agree with you that I think it's horrible for baseball, only because of how ticked off I am with the league. And like I was texting my brothers the other day, I'm so disappointed, and I want the parity of baseball to get better. I want the league to be more competitive, and there absolutely needs to be a salary cap in baseball.
Yeah, 100%.
Like I've told you guys before, when we get into our stupid rule changes debates, if you really care about people becoming interested in the sport of baseball, you need to institute a floor and you need to institute a salary cap. Because if you institute a floor, which is basically saying that each team needs to spend a certain amount of their budget every single year on players/talent, and then you institute a cap, that promotes competitiveness and that promotes players being forced to spread out to different teams. But because neither of those things exist, neither the floor nor the cap, crap like this is going to continue to happen.
Yeah.
Like I told you many times, soon enough, it's just going to be Yankees-Dodgers World Series every single year. Maybe now it'll be Yankees-Mets, but I'm sick of it, man. I'm sick of all this crap. I'm sick of baseball. Manfred can get bent. I hope he loses his position. And all of this is coming from my sincere love for the sport of baseball, for the game of baseball. And in my opinion, the MLB is destroying it. And if you disagree, I would love to hear it. All of this talk is just healthy debate. I'm not saying that I'm 100% right or that you're 100% wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about it because I'm sick of it. They are destroying the game of baseball, and now the league itself is becoming a joke. Like I told you, soon enough, it's just going to be like Man City. It's going to be three to four Man City teams in the MLB, and then everybody else is left to like fend for themselves.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Jason. I want to hear your opinion on why you think it's bad for baseball. And I'm at least happy he didn't go to the Dodgers. I thought he was going to go to the Dodgers just to like prove some sort of point that
I am happy that he didn't go to the Dodgers. I personally thought he should have stayed on the Yankees, but clearly the Yankees just probably weren't willing to give him that much money. I mean, they were willing to give him over $700 million.
Yeah.
But I think that was around, I think the contracts were anywhere between like 700 million and like 730. But clearly the Mets were like, nope. Like, I mean, to me, I think it's bad for baseball because like you just said, I think it's just gonna show that there are going to be the teams who can spend this amount of money, and they're the teams that can't. Like the Rays can't spend $765 million. Like they can't do that. You know, the Oakland Athletics or soon to be Las Vegas Athletics, like they can't, I'm assuming they can't spend that money. Baltimore can't spend that money. There are plenty of teams, the White Sox can't spend that money. There are plenty of teams in the MLB that aren't going to be able to compete against a team like the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Mets, the Red Sox. I was shocked to see Toronto was trying to give him 700. Where is that budget coming from?
I don't know, man. Yeah, Toronto's always in the mix, it seems, and they never get anybody.
But and that's the thing, because I think they're willing to do it, but they can't. See, and that's a perfect example. Toronto is always in the mix to try to get these big players, but they can't do it because there's no way they'll bankrupt their team.
Yeah.
And then they won't be able to afford. Like we can't give them all the money. You know, they tried for Shohei, they couldn't do it. They tried for Juan Soto, they can't compete against these teams and the budgets that they have. So, I mean, yeah, that's where I think it is ruining baseball. I mean, not the golden bat rule is going to ruin baseball. Like that is going to, I said it to you, and we're not going to get into that, but I said that to you. If they bring the golden bat rule into the MLB, I will not watch I won't watch it. I won't watch baseball anymore. Maybe I'll watch college baseball, but I won't watch it. Like if you enjoy what's happening with the you know Savannah Bananas, like hey, go watch that. But you don't have to bring what they're doing into the MLB. Like that the purpose of the Savannah Bananas are it's fun. It's just fun. It's creative. That's the whole purpose of it. Like we don't have to implement that into the actual game of baseball. Okay. But yeah, I mean, if you just look at like so okay, let me ask you this: does Juan Soto, though he's 26 years old, obviously he is a rare player that doesn't come around very often, who's been hitting free agency, or like been kind of bounced around from team to team more than he probably should be. Like,
Yeah.
it's finally somebody's locking him up, and I think that's why they're doing it because he went from the Nationals. He obviously won a World Series. I personally thought even before the Yankees, the Padres should have kept him. I thought
Yep.
the Padres would have, if you want to compete against the Dodgers in that division, you should have kept Juan Soto on the Padres. Obviously, again, I thought New York should have kept him too. You just made it to a World Series, but is Juan Soto deserving of a $765 million contract? Like, when you really look at the player, like Shohei Ohtani pitches and bats. Juan Soto, he's just, I mean, he's like like Aaron Judge, or he's like Ian Happ, or he's just another player who I'm just naming people. I'm just naming people,
I
not
got you.
comparing, just naming them. But I don't think he deserves a $765 million contract because, I mean, if you look at his like career numbers, I mean, he's 26 years old. I mean, he's a 285 career hitter. I mean, his OBP is pretty high, 421. His slug's 530. He's got an OPS of 953. I mean, he's got 200 career home runs already. I mean, he's got 934 hits. Like, I would have to start looking and like breaking down his numbers, but I just don't know that he was worth $765 million. I think
I
he
agree.
was worth over
600.
5,
Yeah.
6, yeah, probably maybe close to 6, but I don't think he was worth that amount of money. I mean, he's not even an MVP.
Yeah. Yet.
I
But
mean, yeah, but look at Mike Trout, like I mean, obviously Mike Trout dealing with a lot of injuries, but Mike Trout's a 3-time MVP. Bryce Harper's a 2-time MVP. Juan Soto's not an MVP. I mean, he's an all-star. He won a home run derby.
yeah.
He's won a batting title, but I mean, he hasn't won the MVP yet. So how do you just gave somebody $765 million, and they have and there's other players in the league who have accomplished more than him.
Yep.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's my rant. We're kind of that went way longer
Way
than
too long.
anticipated. But I pulled this out though.
Hey, now we're
Yeah.
talking. Now we're actually getting into important topics.
That's the pickup right there, man.
Hell of a
50
card.
57 tops with Mantle and Yogi Berra on it, man. That was honestly, I went to a card show recently, and yeah, luckily they had some tables that had some vintage, because now, like, ever since we started talking vintage, man, that's all I want. Like, in my head, I was looking at ultra modern, trying to see if there was anything worth they had one table had a Paul Skeens auto that I was really, really considering. But it wasn't a first Bowman auto. It must have been from like a different set. Yeah. But they wanted like 375 for it or something like that, and I was just like, no, like I only brought 300 with me. So but yeah, I've been on this huge vintage kick. That's all I've been looking at. And then when I was at that show, yeah, all I did was just looking. I tried to make a deal on two Hank Aaron. I think one was 59 tops, and then the other one was a 1962 tops, both PSA 3s. So I was like, I don't care. This is just for me.
Yeah.
But
Hell yeah.
yeah, we couldn't get to the number that I was willing to go for. And then I came across this one, looked it up. I was like, they actually have a price pretty reasonably, and willing to make a deal, and got the card. And that's the only thing I bought. But
were you rocking JELI merch?
I had the jelly sweater on.
Yeah.
Nobody said
Nice.
anything.
Yeah.
But I was rocking the jelly sweater though.
Never seen an uglier sweater in my life.
It was
Where are you
pretty
from?
yeah, it was a pretty small show, but there was a lot of people. Like I was surprised the amount of
Nice.
it opened up at 10. I think I got there, I don't know, like 10:10 or something, and the parking lot was already packed. Like I was happy to
Hell
find a
yeah.
spot. Yeah. Yeah, there
Damn.
was a lot of people already going into it, so that was a good sign.
That's awesome.
That was a good sign. But yeah, that was my I just wanted to show it off. That was my one vintage pickup. I think I'm like, damn, that's a sweet card. And
Sick pickup.
it's because I'm a Yankees fan,
Yeah,
man.
there you go.
The
Now we have it
Yankees
on the
power
record.
hitters.
Yeah. Freaking A. Of course you are.
Hey man,
But hell of a pickup.
there's a lot of history with that team. You can't hate. I mean, you can hate on the Yankees, but there's a lot of when it comes down to baseball, there's a lot of history with that Yankees team, man. So
Of
it's
course.
hard to like
Absolutely.
pass up on Mantle and Yogi on the same card, and it's
Yeah.
SGC.
Hell yeah. And yeah, there's tons of history. There's the Mickey Mantle is an amazing baseball player, but the, I guess, lore or the like importance slash what's the word I'm looking for? Like mythology of Mickey Mantle being a Yankee adds to that. It would be a lot different. He was just like I don't know, some weird no-name team or something. I don't know who to think of, but the New York Yankees are historic, and it's an awesome pickup. 2 Hall of Famers, 2 of the best players of their position of all time. So
Yeah, that was
good
awesome.
pickup, Jason. Hell of a pickup.
Thank you, John. Have you bought into any?
Yep.
Okay,
Already. I'm losing it, man.
let's get into the Bowman draft talk, man. Have you been using jelly money to
No,
buy into these breaks? God, why?
which is probably even worse because it's like my personal money and I'm just spending way too much of it.
Who?
Yeah,
How many have you bought into? You don't have to say. You don't have to
yeah,
publicly say.
a lot.
That's
Because Whatnot is a dangerous place. Don't go on Whatnot if you're trying to save money because you just hop into a room and they're ripping draft and they're ripping a box or two of jumbo and a team is going for like $20 and I'm like, what? This seems too cheap. I gotta buy at least one
fine.
team.
What teams have you bought into?
Tons, man, because it's random teams. But
Oh, okay.
if I have bought into like a full case break, actually yesterday. So shout out to our good friend Slab Mania and shout out to Cards HQ.
Oh, you bought into one of theirs?
I was
Oh,
scrolling late at
awesome.
night
There you go.
on Whatnot. I hopped into their room. They were ripping a full case of Super Jumbo, and I bought the Mariners and I bought the Blue Jays for combined
You
like
dim the lights, close, shut the blinds.
slowly put my wife to sleep. Yeah, I bought them for a combined like $100, and I was like, hell yeah, let's do it.
You said the Mariners and who else?
And the Blue Jays
Nice.
because they were going for cheap and nobody was buying them. I'm like, hey, I'm here. I don't
See,
have money, but I'll spend it.
see, that's the best part about baseball, and that's the best part about buying into Bowman is because everybody has like every team has a prospect to buy into. Like, yeah, they might not be the top ones, but you can still buy in, and something could happen down the road where, hey, now I have these top prospects. But that's the beauty of baseball cards and the beauty of Bowman Draft is that buy into anybody.
Yes.
You're going to get first Bowmans. You're gonna get buy the cheap ones. That's why you always said like you would buy into Colorado. Nobody was ever buying Colorado, and look at Colorado turns out to have some pretty decent prospects now. So, yeah.
Yeah, man. It's been bad. It's been fun, but
Use the jelly budget.
No.
I am all for buying into some because we're not unfortunately this year we're not buying a case. We already decided like we weren't going to do it. But then we said, "Hey, let's go the route of just joining breaks." I'm all for joining breaks. Let's get into some Cubs breaks. Let's get into some Angels, whoever, Red Sox, whatever.
Nice.
Yeah. Let's
those are
get
good
into
teams.
the
All of them that you
athletics.
listed.
I need some Coach Kurtz cards, man.
Yeah, you do. He's a popular hit, man. A lot of people are paying a lot of money for Oakland.
Yeah. But I want to talk, so I want to get into some of the players because I've been itching to talk about this one prospect, and I'm just going to jump right in because once I started looking it up, I was like, this might be it right here.
Let's go.
Yeah. So we're going to break down some of the players. I only picked 2. I don't know how many you picked. I only picked 2 because I figured you might have like 10.
I can list off my eBay watch list if you want, but I've only got like 3 if we're getting serious.
Okay. Okay, good. That's good. Because I was like, yeah, we can go for days and days and days. You know, when I was looking at the top 20 top 100 list, I feel like a lot of the top prospects that possibly are coming out of this year's draft set are pitchers.
It's a very
Ton of
pitcher heavy
pitchers.
set. Yeah.
Yes. So that was the one thing that so I try to, obviously try to avoid this, but I was honorable mention the prospect from the White Sox, Hagen Smith.
Yep.
I almost wrote him down. Honorable mention to Hagen Smith of the White Sox. He's I think he's in the top 20 or top 25. Now that this just doesn't want to pull up.
He's top 5 in the draft prospects.
I
But overall,
think, yeah. Oh, sorry. He was top 30. He was number 30. So yeah, honorable mention to him. He's got an ETA of 2025. So he's not spending too long in the minors. He should be up. I mean, man, he could be opening day roster next year.
maybe.
I don't, but was he? I believe he's in the set too, right?
Yeah.
I believe Hagen Smith. Okay. But yes, let me get into my pick because, like I told you before we started recording, I went outside the top 100 as well. So I have one in the top 100, and I went
Nice.
one outside the top 100. And of course, it's a
Cubby.
it's a Cubby, of course.
Nice.
So I had to rock the Cubs shirt today. And you could end up having him too. I'd be shocked if you didn't. Cole Mathis.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm going to start off with Cole Mathis. So like I said, he's not on MLB's top 100 list. He currently sits as the Cubs' 12th prospect. So if you go and look at their the team breakdown of their prospects, they do a top 30. He's number 12 on the list. He was a second-round draft pick in 2024. He was picked number 54. He's got an ETA of 2027. But the thing that I liked most about him, when I was reading his bio, so they said his freshman year in college, he went to the College of Charleston. He spent most of his freshman year as a reliever. But when you look at him, he's listed as a third base / first base. But his freshman year, he spent most of his year as a reliever. But then they let him start batting, and he became one of college's best two-way players. He led his team, I believe this was in 2023. He led his team in OPS with 1.014 and also ERA with 3.45.
Sick.
Yeah. And then so he didn't play, so he has no stats from last year. He didn't play at all. But I just wrote down some of his college ones. So he had 133 career games in college. I just did batting. I didn't do pitching.
Nice.
He's got a slash line, he had a slash line of 327 for his batting average, 451 for on base, 606 for slugging. His OPS was 1.057. In 133 games, he had 136 hits, 38 doubles, 24 home runs, 74 strikeouts to 90 walks and 22 stolen bases. So that was his career numbers in college, which I was like, man, that's
Not
great.
even a full MLB season.
No,
He's got like
no, it's not. So they break him down. So they say he has got consistent hard contact, solid power. They say he can have more damage at the plate if he gets more air under. If he improves his launch angle.
Yeah.
I know, and I figured you weren't gonna like that because I was kind of shocked that they were like, hey, you need to launch these balls more.
Yeah, you need to uppercut your swing a little more.
Yeah, but they say he controls the strike zone well and he draws a lot of walks. They did announce him as a third baseman, which I hope they don't keep him at third base because, well, you got Triantos. You got Triantos and Matt Shaw. So that's the only problem that I'm having with them marking him down as a third baseman, but they also do have first base for him as well. So, but they're scouting him with plus arm strength. So I don't know. He might end up like everybody else, gets booted into the outfield potentially.
Maybe.
But yeah, so Cole Mathis was one of my what was one of my picks, and you're gonna love this. So when I was looking up his card market on eBay,
I'm already excited.
yeah. So on December 9th, he had a first Bowman Chrome Auto sell for $10.50. And these are
Beautiful.
all raw. Obviously, the set
Yeah,
just
of
came
course.
out, so this is all raw. Yeah, $10.50 for his first Bowman Chrome Auto. He had a first Bowman Chrome Gold Shimmer Auto, numbered out of 50, sell yesterday for 76. Well, December 9th for $76. Yep. And then he had a first Bowman Chrome Purple Refractor, numbered out of 250, sell on the 8th for $35. And then I tossed this one in there. He had a first Bowman Paper.
Hey.
First Bowman Paper Orange, numbered out of 25, sell on December 7th for $29.
Nice.
So I was really excited to talk about him.
Yes.
Yes, I need your thoughts on it because I know you're probably heavily looking at Cubs prospects. I think the Cubs by far have one of the best farm systems in baseball. There's a lot of potential here. They got obviously Cam Smith, I think, is going to take up a lot of the attention
Definitely
for the Cubs in this set. But I think Cole Mathis is a very sneaky pick, especially. I mean, if he's sitting at just $10.50 for a first Bowman Chrome Auto, I mean, if a PSA 10 comes out, I'm assuming that's probably going to be like 50, between like 50 and 75. They're going to be less than $100.
Right. Yes.
And you need a stack of them up to here.
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead. Let me know what you think about Cole Mathis. So
I love the pick. Everything you just said is wonderful. I've been looking at Cole Mathis too, obviously, because he's a Cub. Cam Smith is for sure the number one chase for the Cubs, and the Cubs are an expensive team because of Cam Smith. But the beauty of like hopping onto eBay and looking at Bowman Draft as soon as it comes out, or hopping into Instagram, whatever you want to call it, some people run player breaks. So I'm sure you can get into a big multiple case break of Bowman Draft, and you can buy the Cole Mathis spot for way cheaper than trying to buy the Cubs. So hell yeah, Jason, hell of a pick. I love the stats. Everything that you said obviously is awesome. Anybody who walks more than they strike out in my book is my kind of baseball player.
I can't believe he started off as just a reliever. Like that's what drew me to him when the first line that spent most of his freshman year as a reliever. I'm like, and then he came to be one of college's best to it. I'm like, how is this guy? Honestly, I looked at him. I'm like, how is he a second round pick?
Exactly.
I can't believe he fell to the second round.
It's probably because he went to College of Charleston in South Carolina. But even so, man, if you're good, they'll find you. And I'm happy that the Cubs found him. And I'm, like you said, maybe not great enough to be a first-round pick, but good enough to be a second-round pick. So
I think he's going to be very sneaky. I think, honestly, this is –
And if they keep him at third, that's okay, I guess, because – I don't know. Somebody's going to get traded. I don't know who it's going to be, but somebody's going to get traded. It's either Triantos, Cam, not Cam.
Well,
Smith,
hopefully he goes over to first base. Hey, listen, man. If he has what it takes to do, to be first base, Michael Bush. I'm sorry, but you weren't on the you weren't drafted by the Cubs. Like, you can go, dude.
Oh God.
The problem that the Cubs are having right now, and which shouldn't deter you away from buying into their prospects, is that they're loaded in the infield.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't also help that we have Dansby Swanson. It doesn't help that we have Nico Horner. And then now it doesn't help that we have Michael Bush at first. It's just, you have a very, very above average infield already, and almost every single one of your top prospects are infielders.
Yeah.
So
unfortunately for me,
and not to mention you have Owen Casey coming up too.
Yep. Who I think Nico's going to be gone, and I'm going to be very devastated when that happens.
There's a lot of talk. Obviously, Belly is probably going to be traded at some point in this offseason. And the one that I really disliked was them now considering trading Seiya. I really don't like that they're going to consider trading Seiya because they want to bring over Walker Buehler, which I'm all for Walker Buehler if he can stay healthy, like I said. But Not
Yeah,
at
man.
the expense of. I mean, Belly, I knew he was temporary. I
Yep.
love Cody Bellinger. I knew he was temporary. Seiya, though, I do. Like, I don't think he should be touched. He's our best hitter.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll see what happens, man. There's going to be a lot of stuff going down.
Yeah. I mean, these are good problems to have. They're good problems to have.
Yeah. It's just tough decisions to make, too.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So,
Let's hear it.
I am going to probably annoy some people here, but my first prospect that I want to talk about for sure. Again, I went outside the top 100 because, like Jason said, for the past, 48 to 72 hours, at least half of that has been spent looking at Bowman breaks, looking at Bowman checklists, looking at people's stats. And the first prospect that I want to talk about is also on an expensive team, the Angels, and he is a pitcher. I texted you guys about him because I just think that he is a potential future ace/dominant force for the Angels rotation or bullpen, and his name is Ryan Johnson. I think that is fitting because he reminds me of Randy Johnson. He is
6'6". Wow.
6'6". Yep. Hard throwing right-hander. And I feel like when I was looking on either MLB.com or some other thing, they had him listed as 6'7". But anyway, he was drafted in the second round, went to Dallas Baptist, and like I've talked about so many times, pitchers in the hobby don't get much love. And like Jason mentioned, this Bowman Draft release is very quote-unquote pitcher-heavy. A lot of pitcher prospects inside the top 100. And I think Ryan Johnson is a sneaky pick for the Angels because everybody's going to be going to the Angels for Christian Moore.
Yeah.
But just like Cole Mathis, Ryan Johnson, I don't think he went to the minors this year.
No, he did not.
Yeah, they just have him kind of in their system. But like I said, he pitched for Dallas Baptist in Texas. And last year, 2024, for Dallas Baptist, he went 11-3. He had a 2.21 ERA. In 106 innings, he had 151 strikeouts to only 14 walks.
Wow.
151 Ks to 14 walks. And the year before that, he had 116 Ks to 22 walks. So his K through 9 is at 12.8. And I'm telling you, man.
Sounds like you have some command of your pitches, man.
I love it. Exactly.
Wow.
That's what I'm talking about here. It's very, very difficult to be a quote-unquote strikeout pitcher and not also accompany that with walks. Yeah. Nolan Ryan leads the majors in history in strikeouts, and he also leads the majors in walks. So I love it. I think that he is a potentially sneaky pick because when I went to his freaking cards market, I know that yesterday
$6 for a first Bowman Chrome auto, man.
Yeah. So yesterday night, your boy was trying to win an eBay auction, but things decided to come to the surface at home. And hey, John, you got to do this. John, you got to do that. There was a 3-case.
Come on, get out of there, man.
Yeah. There was a 3-case break. I think it was like one jumbo, one super jumbo, one HTA for like a player break. And I think his spot went for $7 or something.
Oh, my.
I was so pissed.
Did you go back and watch the break?
No, but I probably will.
Just to see if anything was pulled.
Yeah, because I'm a masochist. It's going to be like, oh, there's a super. Oh, Angels.
101. 101.
So anyway, Ryan Johnson's autos are selling pretty cheap. I hope that nobody listens to this podcast episode so I can continue to snag them up. But I think most recently his choice auto out of 150, again, raw, $4.25.
$4, yep. Mm-hmm.
Nuts, man.
Yeah, I see that gold. I see the gold wave refractor auto out of 50. I mean, $53. That's
yeah,
that's
not
pretty
bad.
decent. But man, the aqua lava refractor out of 199, $15. Yeah, I can't get over the first Bowman auto $6, $6.26.
Yeah.
Like,
again, I understand we might have some people out there who are like, ugh, pitchers.
I love that signature.
Yeah,
just
bad.
a B with a dot.
Yeah, It's I think
or an
he.
R or whatever.
It's
It
an
looks like a
R
B,
that.
but
He, yeah.
it's an R that goes
RJ.
into a J.
Hmm.
I see what he's doing.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, he's my first pick because I don't know. Have I've become like a cynical person. Everything that happens around me, I'm cynical. I hate
Ah,
that pitchers don't get love in the hobby. So now I'm strictly looking at pitchers all the time. And I think Ryan Johnson is a really good pickup. Um, I'm excited to see what he's going to do once the minors kick off. So I'm happy. I'm happy that they didn't put him into any sort of rookie ball, A ball right away. They'll
yeah.
probably start him at A ball, maybe high A, because he's, I think, 22, 23 years old. So, yeah, he's turning 22 actually in August. So he's turning 23. He's currently 22. Yeah, I think that his market is prime for the taking, even if it has a small jump from $6 to $25 to $30. You've 5 times your investment. So Ryan Johnson is my first pick, and he's the only pitcher that I chose for this podcast, but there are tons more because the
Yeah.
Bowman draft is loaded with pitchers. And
Yeah.
like you said perfectly, Jason, the beauty of Bowman draft is even if they're a cheap team, aside from the Astros might be my least favorite team in this break, but even if they're a cheap team, they have prospects, they have first Bowmans and their autos, and you could get really lucky. So I love it.
Yeah. And that's another thing too when you're talking about Ryan Johnson, and obviously you said everyone's going to be chasing after Christian Moore, but and the other beauty of it is that now you're getting Ryan Johnson because you're when you're buying into these teams, you buy into the Cubs, you're chasing after Cam Smith, but look at the rest of them that are in there because not only are you getting Cam Smith, but you're getting Cole Mathis. Not
Yep,
only are you getting Christian Moore, but you're getting Ryan Johnson.
exactly.
That other people are not, that other people might not be seeing right now, but those are the ones that you kind of just set to the side. Like I'm setting Cole Mathis to the side. I'm
Yes.
setting
Yes.
Ryan Mathis to the side, and I'm letting them do their thing. I might go ahead and sell Christian Moore if I hit a big one. If it's not grade worthy, sell it.
Yep.
If you hit a big Cam Smith auto and they're selling for like $500 or whatever, like that's what they're going for on eBay, sell it. But
Beautifully said.
But Cole Mathis, set him aside. Is it worth selling his auto for $10 right now? No. Especially when you look at his stats and you go, he might be the real deal.
Exactly.
Like he might be somebody that could make you a lot of money in the future.
Completely agree. Beautifully said. That's exactly right, and that's the best thing about it. You can sell like hot prospects right away and make a quick buck, a good chunk of money, make it back on your investment. But if you hit like a low numbered or even a raw refractor numbered, whatever the hell you want to call it, auto of some other prospect, look them up before you decide to list them. That's all.
Yeah. All right. So I'll get into my next one. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready, man. we could stop this recording right now.
Breaks.
Yes, right. You're right. So my next pick, I did go into the top 100. I was kind of having a hard time trying to find like position players that I was like really kind of interested in looking at, especially for this podcast episode. But I did come across one that popped out to me. He's number 54 on the top 100 list, and that is Braden Montgomery.
Nice.
So Braden Montgomery, he's a prospect for the Boston Red Sox. He was drafted first round, so he's first round pick, number 12th round pick. He's got an or the 12th pick, not 12th round. He's got an ETA of 2027. So he's 21 years old. I mean, he's 6'2", 220. What I really liked about him, he's a switch hitter. So I do like that. And they say he's better from the left side. So I actually think playing at Fenway, it kind of helps him. It benefits him that he's going to be better at the left side. But yeah, just like but he was a two-way player as well, and you're really starting to see this a lot now in prospects.
Yep.
A lot of them are coming in as two-way players, though they're not keeping them as two-way players. A lot are coming in as two-way players. So which is something that when we started doing this back in like looking at 2020, 2021, it was kind of, you got like one person. Like Brendan McKay was like a rare prospect to have. Shohei Ohtani coming in and actually physically doing it is a very rare thing. You're starting to now see a lot of them being scouted as two-way players, not necessarily staying at the, but they are, which to me I think is great potential, because I personally believe that they have the ability to be a great ball player if they can do both. So yes, so he's a two-way player, but they say he's got a higher ceiling as an outfielder.
Nice.
He is a switch hitter with plus power. I think they were saying he was at his. So he originally went to Stanford. So he was one of the best two-way prospects in the 2021 draft. But he as a high schooler, but he wasn't picked because he committed to Stanford. He went and played college ball. He wanted, while he was there, his 2 years at Stanford, he had 35 home runs. But then he transferred to Texas A&M, and his, I think he only was there 1 year. He hit 27 home runs with them in a season. Yeah. But then he ended up breaking his ankle, sliding into, he had an awkward slide. Yeah, he broke his ankle, but he ended up he is now the Texas A&M, he's the highest drafted prospect or player out of Texas A&M now. And they signed him for $5 million, Boston Red Sox.
You said he had 27 homers? Isn't it? That's like a homer every other day. How many games did he play?
That I did not look up. I didn't look up the college stuff, but yeah, he had 27 home runs.
I knew his OPS and stuff. I've heard of him, but I didn't know that he had 27 homers.
Yeah. It said, while establishing that he had a brighter future as a hitter, he's then launched 27 home runs this spring after transferring to Texas A&M.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So they say he also has. So they say he can handle the breaking ball well, but he does have a tendency to swing and miss too often, which you're going to get that a lot with these young prospects. Everybody does now. Who cares about strikeouts? They put him down as plus arm strength, and he's a right fielder. And that was my position. So they hit right here when I hear about right fielders. So I like it. Again, he's the same thing with Cole Mathis, with Ryan Johnson. He didn't play last year. He's got no stats. I should have looked up the college numbers, but I didn't. I only did for Cole Mathis because I was just like, I love this guy.
Super excited. Yep.
Yeah. But surprisingly, when I looked at his card market for Braden Montgomery, it was a lot higher than I was thinking it would be. And now, granted, he is top 100. He's number 54. He's a first-round pick. He was pick number 12. But I think a lot of it is he's on the Boston Red Sox.
Yep.
Team does play into these markets. So he had a first Bowman Chrome Aqua Lava Refractor auto, numbered out of 199, sell on December 9th for $305 raw. Yeah. He had a first Bowman Chrome Refractor auto, numbered out of 499, sell on December 9th for $202.50. He had his first Bowman Chrome auto, sell on December 9th for $124.38. And then he also had a first Bowman Chrome Purple Refractor auto, numbered out of 250, sell on December 9th for $305. So he is a little bit higher, like I guess, in value.
Yeah.
If you're willing to go ahead and pay that amount of money for a raw, if you don't think that's that crazy high, I didn't even look at Travis Bazzana. I didn't look at what his market looks like, so I'm assuming he's probably maybe even double that right now.
Same with Jock.
Yeah, but I think if you're looking for somebody in the top 100, I think Braden Montgomery could be a really good pick, especially because, I like the fact that he's a switch hitter. I like the fact that he's a switch hitter. It sounds like he's going to be great defensively as well in the outfield, and it's Boston, man.
Yeah.
Boston's going to make you money. Boston's going to make you money on these. Boston has, again, some really solid prospects. Of course, with Marcelo Mayer being being their top one. So
Also, yeah.
and
hell of a
Christian
pick.
Campbell too.
Yeah.
They got Christian Campbell up in the top. He's number 10 as well. Oh wow, wait, hold. I forgot about Roman Anthony too. Boston's looking really good in the future.
Yeah.
Roman
Yeah.
Anthony at number 3. You got Marcelo Mayer at number 7. You got Christian Campbell at 10. Boston's got 3 top 10 prospects.
Yeah.
Not
They're
to
good.
mention Kyle Teal at 25.
Mm-hmm.
And
Another good player.
Yeah. And then I think it's and then it's Brady Montgomery at number 54 for them.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Good job, Jason.
Yeah. Yeah, Boston, wow, is I think and then they have Franklin Arias at number 95. So Boston's watch out, AL East.
Yeah. Yeah. Hell of a pick. And what
Yeah.
you said there at the end, I think that's another thing that either we've talked about or touched on. If you are interested in getting some of these high-end players, I would probably wait. I'd wait maybe like 1 week, 2 weeks, wait for the hype of a new release to die down.
Yeah.
And
I'm
then
waiting
try
until
to
like
snag up.
February. Like
that'd be
one
even
month,
better.
1 month before before that like spring training starts, and then give the set time to cool off a little bit. Yeah,
exactly. Hell of a pick. I think Brady Montgomery is a great pick, and like you said, even though he's a little bit expensive, even if you wanted to buy him right now, I think that you can kind of have some confidence that once the Boston Red Sox put him into some sort of level, hopefully he excels and he gets even more attention, and your investment becomes an even better purchase. So, love the pick. Great prospect, like you said, another two-way player, which is really awesome to see. I'm curious to know if some of these people who are two-way players and two-way prospects, when they get eventually called up to the majors, how many teams are going to give them a chance to, like, at least try, like, at least be some sort of bullpen arm or something in late innings? I think it'd be pretty cool. But yeah, man, hell of a pick. Boston's an expensive team if you decide to buy into team breaks because of Brady Montgomery and other prospects that they have, but it could be worth it based on everything that you said and everything that I'm seeing too.
Yeah.
So, hell yeah. Okay. My next pick, I have 2 more, but we're going way overboard here. But I could, like I said, I could list off my whole watch list if we really want to of like 100 players. So my next pick. So like I texted you guys in the group chat, and like I've said, I even said it on the last podcast episode. When it comes to prospecting, unfortunately, the Dodgers are a really great organization. Not only do they have tons of money to spend, but their scouting and their development programs are incredible. All their prospects, or not all of them, but a majority of them usually turn out to be good. The other 2 teams that I mentioned were Tampa Bay and Baltimore. So this player that I'm deciding to talk about is a Baltimore prospect. And I went with this prospect because, like we talked about already, if you want to join player breaks, you might save a little bit of money. Instead of trying to buy a team in a multiple case break, you could just buy a player. But for Baltimore, what's really nice is that they don't really have that many autos in this checklist. And you can buy Baltimore for pretty cheap if you wanted to buy into multiple case breaks. So the player that I want to talk about is Griff, Griff, last name O'Farrell.
Yeah.
I think that, so he was actually a first-round pick drafted by Baltimore, 32nd overall. He is only 21. He's turning 22 in February, so he's going to be 22 eventually. Currently, he was drafted as a shortstop, so I know that's a tough thing to get into over there in Baltimore because of Gunnar and because of Jackson and all that. But based on what I was seeing, it looks like they had him in the minors play shortstop and second base, so he's been kind of flip-flopping in the middle infield. And he doesn't have many games in the minors. He only played 20 games. But I want to talk about his college stats. So I went with Griff, my boy Griff, because he went to Virginia. In 2024, in 63 games, he had 64 runs, 92 hits, 20 doubles, only 5 homers, 52 RBIs, 22 walks, and in 63 games, he struck out 24 times. So the reason that I love that, he's got basically the same amount of walks as he does strikeouts. And I was just looking at his stats at almost every season that is listed on Baseball Reference from 2021 to 2024. he has never batted below 308.
Damn.
He batted 324 last year. 2023, he batted 396. 2022, he was only 19, and he went to Kalamazoo Summer League. In 24 games, he batted 343. He started, I guess, his freshman year at Auburn in 2021. He was 18 years old. In 42 games, he batted 404. So anyway, man, yeah, exactly. I think
Okay.
once again, Baltimore has done an amazing job scouting. They have drafted a great player in the first round of the MLB draft.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I guess the reason might be that I guess other teams are just getting way more attention and their prospects are getting more attention. Griff O'Farrell has a pretty solid cards market. I'm going to try to find some autos really quick, but yeah, I think he only had 20 games in the minors last year, and he still had a pretty good stats. He was, where is it? I just had it. So in 20 games in the minors, he batted 250, OBP 344, OPS 276, meh. But he finished the year in high A, and only 5 games in high A. He batted 300, OBP 333, struck out 3 times. But yeah, man, I think that Griff O'Farrell is a good pick because, like I said, everybody is way too focused on Jock. They're way too focused on Bazana, too focused on tons of people that Griff is going under the radar. I don't know why I gave the thumbs up right there, but
yeah, his first Bowman Chromes are not bad. I mean, they're range anywhere from I see $17 to
24. Yeah. Again,
one went for $36 on the 5th, but that was probably right when the set was released. So it's already coming down.
Yeah, I think that if you want to buy some value, like we're talking about on this podcast episode, I think Griff O'Farrell is a great pick because of what I said, because of his college stats, because of just the development and scouting and everything associated with Baltimore and their prospects. I see no reason that his market should be this low. So he was my second pick. There's tons, man. There's so many freaking prospects on every team that you can go crazy like John has gone crazy and just keep surfing through eBay and surfing through breaks on whatnot on Instagram. You get lost in the sauce, as they say. But
I mean, but this is what you have to do, and we've said this numerous times on this podcast. If you are into baseball cards and you like to buy into Bowman sets, and truly, I think Bowman Draft, regular Bowman Chrome, these are the best baseball cards to buy into. Yes, you can buy into the rookie ones. You can buy into Topps Chrome. You can buy into, if you like buying into Heritage or anything like that. You can, buy into those sets where you get the, the MLB rookie cards. But truthfully, if you are really into baseball cards and you want to dabble into this, part of the hobby, Bowman is the way to go. And especially Bowman Draft, you're going to get the best bang for your buck out of buying into this set. But you got to do your research. Don't just, buy who's on the box. Don't just look at, the top, like everyone's talking about Travis Bazana, look outside the top 50, look outside the top, 75, look at just the top 30 for teams. Like that's what you got to do when you're doing the research, because you're going to find a lot of players. We've talked about many prospects on this podcast who were outside the top 100, and then by the next season or midway through the season, they update it, and boom, they're number 81.
Yep.
And now they're number 53.
Yep.
And now they're, you talked about Roman Anthony, who's now the third. He was always on the list, but you talked about him. He wasn't the number 3 overall prospect in baseball when you talked about him, but he is now.
Exactly.
Josue De Paula wasn't even on the top 100. And now I think he's almost a top 50 prospect, or possibly top 50. Like, you got to do Tyler Black, same thing, for Milwaukee. You got to do your research, take the time, if you're sitting on eBay just scrolling through trying to look at Bowman prospects, instead of doing that, just pull up the, the prospect rankings on MLB.com and just read bios. That's all we do.
It's so fun.
Just
It's cool.
yeah, it's a lot of fun to find them because then you come across a player like Cole Mathis, you come across a player like Ryan Johnson, and you get super excited, and then you go and you look and you're like, wow, like $6 for a
$10, yeah.
yeah, $6, $10, like yeah, versus hey, I'm gonna look into Brady Montgomery. Oh, he's sitting at $202.
Yeah.
Or I'm interested.
Travis Bazana.
He's got to be.
I want to look at
and,
the
and that's
jock
funny
too.
because like we don't even look at those players.
I know.
Like we don't look at. So he's the number one prospect in the set, and I don't even know what his cards go for because I don't look at that. Because he's already I'm not going to buy into him because he's already high. Yeah, here you go. December 9th, Travis Bazana, his first Bowman Chrome refractor numbered out of 499, sold for $585.
Hey,
He had his regular first Bowman Chrome auto, $266. So he had a orange shimmer auto numbered out to 25.
Boy,
Sell for $1,884.
that's nice.
Raw.
Beautiful.
Raw. And it's off-centered.
Perfect.
And it's noticeably off-centered the moment you look at it. He had this one looks like a shimmer. They didn't put down that it's a shimmer. But he had a first Bowman Chrome, looks like blue shimmer auto, numbered out of 150, sell for $1,025. So this is the point we're making. Like, sure, you can go ahead, buy into Travis Bazana if that's what you want to do. If you're willing to drop almost $2,000 on a raw out of 25, go for it.
Yeah.
I don't know if in the 9 that's gonna make you money, but it might right away. But I don't think down the road. But what would you rather buy into? That car, his first Bowman Chrome, at 266 auto, or Cole Mathis who sits at $10.
Yeah, you could buy 20 of them, 26 of them.
Exactly. So that's exactly my point. Though Travis Bazana probably looks like he's going to have more upside.
Yep.
But I mean, if Cole
return on investment.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
I love it, man.
That's
exactly right.
That's my rant.
Hell yeah. Beautiful rant. Everything that Jason said is true, and that's why unfortunately we are infected with the Bowman bug, is because every prospect in Bowman Draft, well, not every one, but usually all of them have a first Bowman auto. And you could do the research that we're talking about, and you can go outside the top 100. You can go into each team's top 30. You can even go past the top 30 if you're really going to get crazy. Hell yeah, respect. Mm-hmm. And you can find cheap players. And all it takes is for one of them to go up a level. Even if somebody starts in rookie ball, they go to A ball and finish in high A on the year, all of a sudden they're on people's radar.
Yep.
And going back to what Jason said about previous sets, there's tons of prospects that the set comes out, everyone is buying this prospect, you need to get your hands on them, and then a year goes by and they're just having a horrible year. Unfortunately, I'm going to use the Cubs example in Ed Howard. Ed Howard was a really big chase in 2020 Bowman Draft. Mm-hmm. And now, man, you can get an Ed Howard freaking gold PSA 10 auto for probably less than $200, maybe $100. Versus if you hit a Bazana gold auto, true gold raw, you could sell it for like $2 to $3K probably.
Yeah.
So that's all we're saying here. There's risk involved in every pick, and I think it's beneficial of you as a investor / collector of baseball cards to look into these smaller markets and just kind of do a little bit of research and look at stats, look at teams, look at development, look at whatever you want to look at, and save a little bit of money. Don't spend $3,000 to $4,000 on 2 cards when you can buy 100 cards for that much. So yeah, man, I love all our picks. There's so many more because Bowman Draft is stacked with first autos, and even if you're crazy like me and you just want to throw money around, buy into Bowman Draft, get some autos, and just sit on them for a while, and you might get lucky.
Yeah, I think that's a good spot to
stop. Yeah. All right. So, final thoughts. we started this podcast episode talking about the Juan Soto news because Juan Soto, I think that's the biggest contract in MLB history, right? Shohei just got 700 and then Soto now. So Juan Soto is now a New York Met. He got paid a lot of money. If you are listening to this podcast episode and you want to talk about baseball in general, the MLFB, as I refer to it, the Major League of Fake Baseball, by all means, please reach out to us. I would love to have some debates, have some rants. If you're a fellow rule change hater, we can be best friends because I feel like I'm the only one in the JELI chat who hates the rule changes. But then we got into our bread and jelly, our bread and butter as collectors and investors in the hobby, and that's Bowman Draft. Bowman Draft just came out about a few days ago, actually. You've been seeing pre-sales, you've been seeing pre-fills for breaks, and now that these cards are hitting the market, that is when we kind of, I guess, pounce. That is when we attack the baseball card market and we try to buy up some prospects. Jason talked about Cole Mathis. Jason talked about Brady Montgomery. I hit on Ryan Johnson, who's the only pitcher that we talked about, and then Griff O'Farrell. But hopefully by now you've learned that there's tons. The four that we mentioned are just like a drop in the bucket, a drop in the ocean, as people say. So please reach out to us on social media. You can follow us on Instagram, on X, aka Twitter, on YouTube. We are at JELI Cards, JELICARDS. If you enjoy the podcast, please follow the podcast on both Apple and Spotify. Please leave us a rating before I lose my mind, go into my deep, dark depression, and get surrounded by boxes and boxes of Bowman Draft and zero money. Please leave us a rating. If you enjoy the podcast, we would love that. We would appreciate that. Give us a like on subscription on YouTube too. I feel like I've never shouted that out, but we're trying to get more active there. And yeah, thank you, everybody. Really enjoyed this podcast episode. Thank you, Jason. I hope we all have an amazing week and an amazing weekend ahead, ripping some Bowman Draft. And as always, keep spreading the love of this hobby from your friends at JELI Cards.